I'm Hannah Spangler. I'm a senior. I'm an international affairs major and a theater minor, and I am the props apprentice.
What is your job as a props apprentice?
My job is to manage our prop shed and try to keep track of everything and catalog everything, and I also serve as the props master for each show, each main stage production that Gordon puts on.
Could you walk us through like what your role is leading up to a show and during a show as the props master?
Yes. So leading up to a show, I get the script from the production manager. I read it over, and I read it one time usually, and I read it a second time and look for all the different props that are specifically listed in the script. And then I will usually go back a third time and look for anything that is suggested or could be used in a place, and I compile it into a giant spreadsheet, my props list, where I put a lot of specific details about it, what the page number is, what character uses it, is it something that will stay on the stage all the time, does it leave, what kind of prop is it, and any other specific details about it that might be important. Then I have a meeting with the director, we go over the props list. She will say, I love that, or I don't. I also compile reference photos to show her to give her a greater idea about what I'm thinking, talk about the props, any specific things she might want, any vision that I have. And then once it's settled, I go and find the props. I pull a lot of stuff from our prop shed. I also have made props for the past couple of shows, and sometimes we go out and buy things. And once that is all gathered, I have it ready for actors to be using during rehearsals. Sometimes I'll have a rehearsal prop to stand in before I can get the real thing. And once all the props are gathered, I'm responsible for maintaining those props throughout the rehearsal process and then through the shows as well. So if a prop breaks or something's not working, the stage manager for the show will get in contact with me and I'll fix it.
If you could estimate, how many hours do you think you work a week with this job?
Oh my gosh. During a show, 10 to 30 hours.
Do you ever like use your team to help you with prop stuff? Or what would it look like to be on a team with you?
Yeah. So sometimes for shows, I've had a props assistant. Just for Men on Boats, I had a props assistant because there were a lot of props. I was also in the show, so it was not realistic for me to handle all of that as one person. So I leaned on my props assistant a lot. I gave her direction about things, gave her specific props to create or to find, and she did that for me under my supervision. And then also, if you're on the props / set props team, as we like to call it, you will be in here likely helping me catalog everything that's in here.
Wow. And that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff.
This is a big prop shed.
Yeah.
So you said you read through the script usually to figure out what props you're going to pick. Is there any other source of inspiration? Do you go on Pinterest to look at things for reference photos? Do you go on, I don't know, Tumblr? Or yeah.
Yeah. I definitely use Pinterest a lot, or honestly just searching on Google different things. If it's a period piece, looking at sometimes art museums will have historical artifacts as a part of their stuff, or different museums looking on their online galleries to see what specific pieces might look like. So there's a fair amount of research involved in doing it also.
Yeah. Do you enjoy doing that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love stuff. So I love searching for things online and trying to come up with creative solutions for things. So I love buying things. So
and that is of course part of the job.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Part of the job.
Are you allowed to share the budget that you use?
I'll share it. Usually it's a $500 budget per show.
Do you feel like you go through that whole budget?
For Men on Boats, I went through that budget, perhaps exceeded it, who's to say. Just a little. But for other shows like The Tempest, I probably spent between $200 and $300. So it really depends on the show, how much is being spent. I think Steel Magnolias, again, was under budget. I did that back a semester ago. It was probably $300 something that I spent, not close to $400 though, smaller end of $300, so
yeah,
just depends.
And you have a lot of things to pull here,
yeah,
definitely. And then everything you buy, you just put in here for future use, if it's reusable.
Most things, yes.
Yeah.
Some things, if it's super specific or got like really damaged, or it's just not something that we feel like will hold up over time, we might get rid of it. Like we made some campfires for Men on Boats. We just tossed those because they weren't going to do well in the prop shed. Or I made a small map for Men on Boats, tossed that because it's super specific and it can be easily made again. So we also rent props sometimes. So props have to go back.
If you do you rent from other colleges in the area or from other theater production?
It depends. Definitely, like other colleges in the area are open to props. It hasn't happened yet that what they have is what we need, but there's also some prop warehouses in the area because there's a lot of theaters in like Boston and things. So those are a resource. We used firearms, non-firing firearms in Men on Boats, and those were rented from a prop firearm distributor who lives in Virginia. So he shipped them here, we shipped them back. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. Do you foresee like going into theater or props in the future after school?
Well, if Dr. Marconi is watching this, probably not. If Dr. Marconi is not watching this, she's my advisor. Yeah, I have been looking into more technical theater and props work post-grad.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at some apprenticeships in this area and internships, and also back in Pennsylvania where I'm from. So we'll see. There's not a lot of props work is a lot of the time a little more freelance style. So a company or a whether it's like a marketing company, a film person, or a theater, whoever it is, they might have one person on staff who does props, but a lot of time they'll bring in someone for every production that they do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then just one last question to wrap us up. Do you prefer pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Pancakes. Do you have a reason?
They're fluffier.
True. They are fluffier, definitely. Okay, thank you for your interview.
You're welcome.